YouTube family, what is going on? Welcome back to this video, man. Welcome back to this channel, man. If you are new, I want to thank you for tuning in and tapping in on this video. Make sure you go ahead, drop a like, comments, most importantly, subscribe to the channel. We want you around for the long haul, so go ahead and lock it in, smash that subscribe button. And for everyone that has already been supporting the channel, current subscribers, I want to thank you guys for rocking with me on this YouTube thing. So thank you. We couldn't do it without you guys. I gotta thank you guys on every video, but we won't hold you too long. Let's go ahead and get in the topic of today's video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail, so let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the whole the 2023 Dodge Hornet. I'm gonna go ahead and start out by saying this. If you are into scat packs, if you are into RTG or into the VH, into the Hellcats and stuff like that, this car was not and will not ever be for us, right? That car was not marketed for us. Dodge knew that going into it, and they understood that. So I know a lot of people right now up in arms about the whole car and whatnot, and scared about the future or whatnot. To be honest, I mean, the whole hybrid electric stuff is coming or whatever, but this particular car was not ever meant to please us. And I mean us as the performance guys, the guys that like the V8s, the guys that like the wide bodies, the guys that like the scat packs, the guys that like the Hellcats. It was not for us. Never was for us. And they even stated that at the beginning of the presentation. They said the crossover SUV market is is a pretty deep market, and Dodge's goal is to attract new customers, which they have to do if they're going to survive in the long run. Which I know a lot of people have their own thoughts on what Dodge is doing because of the whole electric push, EV push, and things like that. Like, I know we all have our thoughts and stuff on everything, but like I said, this SUV was not meant to please us. So let's cut all that. Let's not even worry about that aspect of it. I'm still wanting to see what they do as far as with the new performance cars that are coming out, and see how those will differ from the rest of the market and things like that. But let's talk about a little bit of this. I do want to get into some of the styling of the new car. There are some styling cues and some things they are doing with this new car, or SUV, I should say, that they took some styling cues away from the Charger and things like that. So I'm gonna point it out to you here real quick. So if you're looking at the car, let me look at it myself here. So just kind of a quick overview of the car. I won't get too much into the performance and the specs of the car, because of the fact that, I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people that watch the channel are more so into kind of the performance cars and things like that, so I won't get too much into the performance of the car. But I do want to talk about some of the styling things that they did put into this car that they took from the cars we like, right? So if you look at the car, especially they introduced like 3 models. If you watched it or whatnot, or I give you a quick summary, they introduced 3 models: the GT, the RT, and the GL8 concept version, which is, I'm guessing, going to be the high performance hybrid out of all of them. Yes, this is going to be a hybrid, not full electric, but this is the start of what's to come with the whole Dodge brand. Now, looking at the car, first thing I want to point out is the front end of the car, which is the thing that you're going to see first, right? Looking at the car, that front end looks very familiar, and as a wide body owner, I can't say I hate it, because if I say I hate it, I pretty much hate the look of my car. They legit took the front end from the wide body Charger. They took this is the same front end from the Durango before they did the facelift. This is actually pretty much a similar design on the Trackhawk as well, and I put some pictures of all of that up here, but you can see the front end is very similar to all of those. So they are trying to definitely appeal and make the car look, SUV look very aggressive compared to the other cars in its segment or whatnot. So we're seeing what we're going with that, right? And since we're looking at the outside of the vehicle here, I want to also take a look at the wheels. The wheels on the car, they look pretty familiar. And if you're familiar with the 2014 Charger Super B, I'm gonna put a picture of it up here. Those wheels look pretty identical to that. So you can see where they took some of the design cues from, some of the performance cars that they have now. So like I said before, this car is not meant to please the guys that like the performance cars. They're not trying to please the Charger guys or the Challenger guys, gals, all that. They're not trying to do that. They're saying they're just trying to dive into a new market and show that these cars can be fun to drive, and show that they got a pretty aggressive, cool car that you may want as well, because they have to survive in the long run, right? They can't depend on the Charger and the Challenger to keep carrying the Dodge brand. They have to go out and get new customers, and the only way they can get new customers is to drop a crossover hybrid. Now, I will say this: I do not agree with them calling it, that we're saying welcome the car to the Brotherhood of Muscle, because to be honest, nothing about this crossover SUV screams muscle car. Nothing. So I don't agree with that part. I understand why they did it. They want to make the car they want to hype the car up, make it seem much cooler than what it is. But you know, that's part of marketing. That's what you got to do. They got to hype up their product. On that subject, right, I know a lot of people are going to say, like, why did they put this car under the Dodge brand? Why not put it under Jeep? Well, Jeep already has a hybrid car. I think they have the Jeep Wrangler. I think they already have a few, you know, compact SUVs and stuff like that. Chrysler, that car doesn't fit Chrysler's brand at all. Nothing about it fits Chrysler brand. To be honest, Chrysler, they don't even have cars that fit on brand. I feel like they just got the 300 in the minivan. So yeah, this car doesn't fit into that. In Ram, I was about to say Dodge Ram, they're all pickups. This has nothing to do with the pickup, so it had to go under the Dodge brand. And like I said before, they can't just solely depend on the Charger and the Challenger to carry the weight for Dodge, right? Because Dodge really is only 3 cars right now: Charger, Challenger, Durango. That's it. They can't just depend on the Charger and the Challenger to carry that brand. They got to bring something in, bring in new customers to survive in the long run. If they don't bring in new customers, because they pretty much know that when the EVs or the hybrids come out for us with these performance cars, then they're probably going to lose a lot of their true I'm gonna say it, their true fan base of the cars, because that's the complete opposite of why we bought these cars. But I understand, I understand the route. I understand what they're trying to do. I just hope that when it comes down to the actual performance cars, they don't let us down. I mean, it's already let down with the EV and the hybrids, and the V8's going away, I should say, but hopefully they don't let us down. But I will say this, let me say this: it could be worse. And you have to say, how can it be worse? Well, they could have taken this crossover SUV and called it a Charger, like, Mustang, the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Yeah, that was terrible. But I will say for a fact, they're trying to compete with Ford and Chevy in this class. Ford has the Mach-E, like I just mentioned, which is full electric. We know Chevy's coming out with the Trailblazer. I think it's going to be SS, something like that. They're coming out with that, which is hybrid or EV, something of that nature. Can't recall right off the top of my head. But Dodge has the internet conversation as well. And I will say, and this is completely unbiased. I know I talk a lot of Dodge on here, but this is unbiased. As far as the styling of these cars is really the key here. And I will say that to me, the cars that look the best right now is going to be between the Hornet and the Trailblazer from Chevy. Those cars look the best when it comes to this hybrid EV market. I feel like Ford took their Mustang and made it look too much like a Tesla in the front end. Granted, they tried to keep the Mustang front end, but make it look more hybrid and more techy. To me, it didn't go with me, but to each his own. I know there's people that's going to like it. To me, it doesn't sit well with me, but I'm not feeling that styling. I do feel like this car does look pretty good, pretty aggressive, and I'm interested to see what other things they're going to be able to do to this car, because they did say they used some parts from Direct Connect to make the GLH version look more aggressive. They say they lowered it, and they did some other things to it as well. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of modifications can be done to these cars, right? Now, they did say that the car, granted, it's not geared to be a performance car. I'm not going to talk too much to specs. They did say the car is going to have the track pack option. If you're familiar with track pack, when it comes to the Charger, Challenger, stuff like that, hit your button for super track pack. You can adjust the suspension and things of that nature, which apparently this is going to have. On top of that, it looks like this car's going to have Brembos as well. So you got adjustable suspension, you got adjustable suspension, you got the Brembo. So this car, I mean, this crossover SUV, I keep saying car, this crossover SUV is gonna be pretty sporty for what it is. Again, let me say this again, it's not gonna be for us. It's not for us that like the Chargers and the Challengers, stuff like that. This is geared towards the new market, trying to give them something cool and sporty to drive. All right, guys, this isn't going to be too long of a video here. Like I said, I didn't want to go too much into the specs of the car. Like I said, I know a lot of people aren't going to be too interested. You normally watch these videos for the, for the vehicles that we normally like, but I want to touch on why Dodge is going on that, make sure we're all on the same page as far as what's going on. Now, I'm still interested to see what the new Charger or Challenger, what they're going to do as far as the performance side of things. I really want to see how Dodge handles that, because they can't rely on the big V8s to carry the name now. They have to really make their future cars different from what everybody else is doing, because everybody's going to be doing hybrids. Everyone's going to be doing EVs. So what is Dodge going to do to make their vehicles different and stand out, which is going to be the key. If they nail it, then okay, they can maybe survive. But if they miss the mark on what needs to be done, then they're going to be in trouble, right? They're going to be in trouble. Dodge has always been that brand that's been in your face, really bold, aggressive with what they do. Don't really care how everyone else does what they do. They've been in their own lane and they do what they do. But because, like I said, EVs and hybrids, is but only so much you can do with these cars, right? And they're pretty much going to be forced to do what everyone else is doing. So they're really going to have to get really creative to make their stuff stand out more than what everyone else is doing. So I'm really interested to see how they integrate that technology into their future cars, and that probably is going to be on tomorrow's announcement, which is actually going to be today's announcement, because like I said, I'm dropping these videos back to back as the announcements come, just to talk to you guys and kind of share my thoughts on everything and whatnot. So let me know your thoughts on it. I mean, I know most of you guys that are watching this video aren't going to be into the crossover SUV, but let me know what you think about it. Honestly, I think it doesn't look bad at all. I mean, I wouldn't have any problems, like, driving a car as maybe like a daily or something just to take a road trip in and stuff like that. It seems like it's a pretty fun car to drive. It looks aggressive, it looks fun, which is what they were going after. But at the end of the day, this car is gonna be way more fun to drive than that. Let's be real. So let me know your thoughts on that. Drop some comments below on the channel. As always, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next video. We're out. Cut it.